Hey guys, just wanted to shoot you a message to let you know what our talk is going to be about on Monday. And so, thus far in our Epic Fail series, we've answered three questions about our relational God. We've answered a who question, a what question, and a when question. So, this week we're going to answer a where question. And the question we're going to answer is, where will my relationship with God lead me? What practically does it look like in the future? And so that's what we're going to be talking about this week. And so I'm going to start out talking about my very best friend Allison, and how when we first became friends, we did not want to be friends at all because our moms really wanted us to be friends because they had been best friends in high school. So there's two things that were really kind of messed up with that in my 15-year-old mind. First of all, when you're 15, you just flat out don't want to be told what to do by your mom. But second of all, typically when your mom tells you to be friends with somebody, it's somebody that can't get friends by themselves. It's like the kid in your class that eats the puzzle pieces. And so we're going to talk about, or I'll tell the story of how Allison and I fought being friends. Basically, we did not want to be friends, but then we kind of had to give into it after a while because we just, we did. We ended up, we were very best friends now, but and so I'm just going to walk through kind of the progression of our friendship. And, when you're first friends with someone, you're just, you're buddies and you go to the movies together, or you go and you hang out on the weekend or whatever. But then over time, how you begin to really rely on the people that are close to you, and they help shoulder the weight when you're in crisis, and they help you make decisions, and they kind of help you walk through stuff. I mean, you're living life side by side with one another, and there's something very comforting, there's something very awesome about having someone that you can share anything with, that's your best friend. I mean, it's an awesome feeling. And so we're going to walk through that, and then have the kids, or have the students, during the group time, then talk about what does a really good relationship with somebody, what does it lead to? And what we're aiming for, I'll rephrase that question a little bit better, but what we're aiming for is, what good relationships lead to, or good friendships lead to, is a level of kind of emotional intimacy. It's somebody that you can share anything with, that helps you kind of shoulder that weight, that's there for you when you need it, all of those types of things. And so then we're going to talk about, contrast that to our relationship with God, and how very often we're told that we need religion because good people have religion, or good people go to church, or good people have faith, and but we kind of have this negative view of what religion is. We believe that it's people that are stuffy and up in their dark corner somewhere reading their Bible, never having any fun, that are overly concerned with the law, that are overly, all of those types of things that we kind of have this negative image of. And then we're going to take and we're going to compare that to what we've been learning about God, about how He desires to have a relationship with us. So that's what it's about. It's not about all this other stuff. While there, of course, are consequences when we mess up, that's not what God's about. The difference between religion and the difference between, what Jesus taught us was that, religion, of course, is man chasing after God, whereas we know that Christianity, or what Jesus taught, was Jesus was God pursuing man. And the difference there, and how, once again, just like the topic of all of these weeks have been, how God just so desires to have a relationship with us. And so then taking that element and comparing it to what we were talking about before, is where does a good relationship lead us? And so looking at that as compared, our relationships with our friends and with our families, where do those relationships lead us? And then looking at our relationship with God, well, where does that lead us, and making those comparisons in that same way. And the verse that we're going to be using is John 15:15, which, if you'll give me a little bit of grace on my paraphrase here, but basically says, it's Jesus speaking, and He says, I no longer call you servants, because a servant doesn't know the workings of the master. He doesn't know what the master's doing. But I call you friends, because I've shared everything that the Father has told me, I've told you. And so then looking at how Jesus calls us friend, we're not servant. We're not here to serve a list of rules. We're not here to serve a list, a religion and all of its practices. We're here, friend is a relational word. And so, that's in a nutshell what we're talking about. Where will it lead? It leads to the same places that our good relationships with our friends and our family leads to. It leads to an emotional intimacy. It leads to a good type of dependency and reliance. And so that's what we're going to be talking about this week. Of course, if you have any questions or concerns, you're always more than welcome to send me an email, and I'd love to answer that or talk to you about whatever questions or concerns that you might have. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys on Monday.